If you have Twitter and you're following anyone in Brawlhalla, then you can probably tell that it has been going kind of bonkers. It's been going really crazy. Multiple people have either quit or they're taking an extended break from the game just simply because they're not happy with the direction of the game. Some include Boomy and Sandstorm and Pavelski even. And those are like the three biggest faces of the community. I mean, Koslix as well. Koslix is on extended break or officially retired. I can't remember which. But it is kind of troubling to see those faces go. Obviously, there's an angle you can see it from where, they've been playing the game for a super long time, and that's understandable. When you play or do anything for like 5+ years and you put so much time and effort into it, it's understandable to want change. But at the same time, the change that they have wanted and the change that people have wanted have been an ongoing thing for years. It's not like this is just out of the blue, finally I've had enough. They've fought to try and have something different, something happen, and so far it hasn't. On the esports dev stream yesterday, on the 1st of August, Boda, unsurprisingly, was one to actually step forward on the dev stream and really say something. And it's not the first time that they've done this. They've had like the realist dev stream talks before where, they really recognize and try and pay attention to what the community is saying. But I don't want people to kind of be deterred by the emotion that they are showing. They are people. Never attack any of the devs directly, right? It is a larger picture thing. It's not individuals making these specific moves. Maybe at a certain level it is, but it's not Foda's fault specifically. It's not TWK's fault. And you just can't pin it to any one person because I don't think anyone at BMG wants the game to ultimately fail. It just might seem like their vision isn't aligned with ours. And I mean, that is probably very, very true. This lets me kind of segue into another thing, which is I really don't like this trend that's starting to happen where it seems to just be a very cool, hip thing to do to just absolutely prey on Brawlhalla's downfall. Wrenched is like enemy number one in this regard. I mean, it's crazy the amount of hating that he does. I understand that he has his gripes, and I cannot say that he is wrong on some of them, but it hits a certain level for some people where it's just like, what are we doing? Like, are you guys wanting to actually improve the game? Or are you simply just wanting to see these people fail at what they're doing? Do you want to see like a bunch of people lose out on something that they love? I mean, it doesn't make much sense. And maybe I'm sounding kind of dramatic with it, but I mean, as someone who is literally doing this as their living, of course, I want it to do its best, and I want to see Blue Mammoth bounce back and find an answer and find a middle ground that the community and the company can, come to terms with, and they can push forward into a brighter future. Personally, even if Multiverses is on the rise, and of course it is, it's new, it's got all the characters and IPs that people grew up with. I mean, Iron Giant for one is, I never even imagined that I'd be seeing that guy in any sort of game. But I mean, like, that's sick. I love that. It's like one of my favorite films as a child. So, I mean, of course, people have the nostalgia and they want to go and try it. And it's understandable. I'm sure the game will do well. And I would love nothing more than to see another avenue for Brawlhalla players or anyone in fighting games have another way to make money and find a bigger audience and push their brand, make themselves bigger. But it is very possible that Brawlhalla, Multiverses, Smash, they can coexist. I mean, we've already been seeing that with Super Smash Brothers and Brawlhalla. Like, it's not mutually exclusive. It's not like, oh, there's only enough room for one of us. But it is very evident that, some of the moves that Multiverses might be doing, the whole free-to-play model and stuff, like Brawlhalla walked so Multiverses could run. You could say that, I suppose. Yeah, there's certain elements where you can tell that they are definitely taking some inspiration of Brawlhalla, and that's perfectly fine. I think that's like a really reasonable thing to do because Brawlhalla has managed to stay around for quite some time and be the most successful free-to-play platform fighter aside from Multiverses now. I really applaud those who have been willing to step up and kind of say their piece in a constructive manner. I think Egg Soup, for example, is one that is fantastic in this regard. I mean, the guy's just a great speaker in general. Burb IRL, he made a Twitter thread that actually went into some pretty good details. I'll actually leave a link in the description so you guys can see that and understand the sort of changes that is summarized by the community that he put in the thread, and I think that is really good. Blue Mammoth has even previously acknowledged what people want as far as change goes by supporting Project Huon, which is something Barendipitous did on his Twitter, and it was a survey basically, essentially outlining What do you want to see changed in the game, and what are you unhappy with right now? But it is kind of sad because it feels like a lot of the time Brawlhalla is much more reactive than proactive, and that feels very, very bad. It feels like we're in this cycle of, oh, this game is terrible, and then next thing you know, you have devs being like, oh, hey, we recognize it. And you can see that it breaks their heart. You can see that it's like, this is absolute mental anguish on them. It is horrible for them to like go in this cycle, and then proceeds to give promises, and not all of them, a lot of them, never really get filled out on. Unfortunately, as players and competitors, the only thing we can really do is say something and hope that it actually happens. And you know what? If it doesn't this time, then I really think I am going to be super disheartened. But at the moment, I don't have any sort of expectation, just because there have been promises before, there have been talks before, and nothing has happened. I just implore you, if you're going to engage in the discussion, just do it in a constructive way, and don't go after specific people or simply be there to hate. It does not help anything. For the time being though, I'm here, I'm sticking around, and hopefully we can collectively fix this, and hopefully the devs are going to be paying attention this time and hearing us out. But in the comments, leave something down. What do you guys want to see changed? But yeah, I'm gonna head out.